Hi, I'm Marvin Ambrosius, and welcome to the Ghost of Our Past UK podcast with Big Sis
Marsha Ambrosius.
and a very, I wouldn't even say guest. I'm talking the mother of all guests. See what I did there?
Yeah.
Yes, it's Geraldine Ambrosius, our mother. Hi, Mum. How are you?
Hi, Mum.
I'm fine, thank you.
Oh, good.
Good.
You look fantastic. I'm just gonna throw
You
that
do.
out there
You
now.
look beautiful.
Oh, thank you, darlings.
Okay.
Amazing
It's nice to
happenings.
Well, it's nice to see you in a chirpy mood because obviously we're going to go into some dark territory on this one. But we always, we're a very positive family, an upbeat family, so it's not going to sound as dark. However, what's transpired in the last few weeks of the podcast that have come through, I just want to clarify some things with you, and we want to get some information from you so we can bring things together and solidify why we are who we are and why we carry these things with us. So
Okay.
yeah, this is gonna get good.
It's going to get
So,
real.
Mum, how have you
Yeah.
been enjoying the podcast so far?
It's been very interesting. It's obviously brought to the surface lots of things I tried to put behind me in terms of, ghosts of our past. And I've had time because of the lockdown and everything else, reflect on life and, look over the past and thought, oh, wow, all these things were going on. You try and, forget them basically because life goes on.
Okay.
So ghosts of our past, I try and bury ghosts of our past, some of them.
Okay. So did some of the things that you've heard, did some of the things that were buried come right back up?
Oh, well, of course. It's like, first it was like, what are these guys doing? They've gone crazy. And then when I watched the first one and then the second one, I was going, I like this. This is a really nice format. But then when you guys said, we want you to come on, Mum, I was like, oh. Because it might get a little deep.
Yeah.
For me, because it's obviously bringing things to the surface that I kind of forgot, but it was there, but I didn't want it to be there, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well,
yeah?
the main thing was
memory lane. I suppose going back down memory lane.
Well, the thing is, what we were saying, what we realized is that we're talking as adults now, me and Marsh, but we're talking from a child memory experience, but you were an adult the whole time. So this is where things that aren't hazy as adults, we were children. This is all clear for you. So things that weren't clear for us, they were 100% clear for you. So that's where the empty holes that we have, we'd like for you to kind of help fill those.
Yeah. Okay, you might use the word clear, Marvin, but to me they weren't clear because I was a bit scared is the word I could use. I was like, what is going on? And I thought if I start talking to people about it, they think, oh, she's crazy. What's she talking about? And the feelings and everything else I couldn't share with you guys because I didn't want to scare you, I was like, all right.
So we were all kind of afraid at the same time in the same way. Yeah. But we were kids.
About it.
Yeah. So when we moved from Liverpool to London, what was your earliest recollection of Orchard House being weird?
Different.
Like something strange in the neighborhood? Who are you gonna call?
Ghostbusters.
Like when was the moment where it was like, okay, I know this isn't just something that, you move into a new house, you're trying to get used to familiar sounds, and when was it of this is haunted?
Okay, well, the first apartment, the number 14, I would say the number, that was okay. It wasn't, how can I put it? It felt okay. It was a nice vibe. There was how can I put it? There was a presence there, but it wasn't a unnerving presence.
It wasn't sinister.
Yeah, it didn't feel like, oh, I can't walk around the house naked. It sounds stupid, but
No, I get it.
I've got to protect myself. It was okay. It was a cool kind of spirit. I think the happiness for me was the next apartment.
That was literally next door.
was, well, literally next door. But as I say, 14, it was, no, for me, it wasn't heavy. It wasn't a heaviness I needed to talk about. I, I, I can't recall, to be totally honest with you, anything that really unnerved me. It almost felt like someone was protecting me more so than anything.
That's interesting.
Rather than someone like, make me, it wasn't dark. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I told the story about me coming to your room and the corridor getting longer, do you ever recall me ever getting to your room? Because I can't remember. This is so strange. Ever sleeping in the bed in that room. That's bizarre to me. I never remember getting there. So like, did I ever stay in that bed with you?
I actually think you didn't.
What?
Wow. I don't remember.
I don't think you ever slept in that bed with me.
Wow.
But that to me, honestly, that is mind blowing. Like I thought like I must have slept in the bed with Mum.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
But I really can't recall.
Do you know what? I actually don't think you. No, you might have done when it was Thunder and Lightning or something like that.
Oh,
but it wasn't. It wasn't. You'd be a bit scared of the Thunder and Lightning.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you didn't kind of go to. You were getting bigger then. You didn't want to come to Mummy's bed.
I was still very young though. That's why I'm like, how the hell did I not make it to that room?
Yeah. That's what makes your story creepier. Yeah.
Remember when I burnt my leg? Like, what happened after I burnt my leg? When I got burnt from the kettle?
We used to convert. Remember the couch, and it had all of those. It looked like peacocks on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I can see. So that I can see the pattern. We used to build a fort and make our own, like almost like our own little day bed on the floor. So I think you might have slept in the living room.
Oh, do you know
Before
what?
we slept in the room, we sleep in the living room or our rooms in that house. I remember watching Big Trouble in Little China after my 10th birthday on that floor, like laying down on that floor.
Okay, I'm trying to think. Did you get into the bed when you were that? You must have done at some point.
Don't remember that house. I remember 2A. I slept with you until I was 15, 16. In that house.
Mum, I remember coming upstairs when ER first popped off with George Clooney.
Yeah.
I remember coming to your room and having the excuse to go, I'm just gonna fall asleep in here. Like just because it was on at 10.
Because it was 10.
It was 10 o'clock.
10
o'clock Channel 4. Like I was like, good, at least. And I couldn't wait for ER every week just because I knew it was an excuse to stay in your bed because I was scared.
In 2A.
I felt bad. I didn't realize that you was feeling, you felt a presence, and we didn't have that conversation. I had conversations with neighbors and your childminder even, more than Sandra, your childminder.
Sandra,
yeah. But obviously you were too young for me to have that conversation with.
I don't know why I didn't bring it up. I don't know why I never brought it up. I say to Marsh all the time. I don't know why. I was comfortable to tell you anything, but I don't know why I didn't bring it up.
I know, and you didn't bring it out with artists, because you were always being creative drawing, both of you.
Yeah.
But you didn't kind of bring a picture home that made me think, there's something going on here. So you didn't display it that way, but we never had dialogue about it.
That's really true, actually, because Marsh, I went through the Ninja Turtles drawing phase.
Yeah,
and the WWF and the trainer phase. Remember, I just did design. I used to design my own trainers, but you're right. We never. If we were manifesting a certain amount of behavior, it would have come out through the art.
Yeah, because I used to do anime. I used to do it was Ken from Ryu. I used to just try and
yeah. But Marsha, if you think about it, you started writing music at 8 or 9. Yeah. And you never brought anything in your music, so you were writing.
Yeah. And it wasn't negative.
The penmanship was really, really good, but you never.
Gonna get you.
No.
Still a hit.
Still a hit.
I was walking down the road.
Oh God.
That was up there.
Where the sun
we got to release these records.
I know. Just sad.
But
so, okay,
you never even like put anything in to pen. You were writing poems. You were writing things, but you never put anything.
But in two-way, I do recall it would be small things, and our arguments would be, well, the ghost did it. In two-way, we coined the phrase "the ghost did it," without actually having the conversation about a ghost doing it.
Okay,
and it would be small stuff. It would be like looking on the top shelf for something in the fridge that we knew was there. No one's eaten it. No one's touched it. We'll go in the fridge the next day. It's not on that shelf. It's in the side of it. Or something in the living room was supposed to be on the table. Now it's not on the table. It's in someone's room. Like things just going missing and misplaced. And I remember in 14, one happened, and you blamed Michelle Wildman for taking rhinestone
bracelet.
And I'd have to verify with Michelle Wildman if she ever remembers ever actually doing that. But I remember you said she can't come over here anymore. Can't do. I said we wouldn't even know where to look for it to take it. I don't even know what you're talking about, and I don't even know if it ever came. Did it come back?
No,
it was always forever missing.
Always forever missing.
That's a mystery in itself. We have to find out.
Yeah, so I'll have to ask Michelle.
Some people are going to admit to. It's
yeah.
embarrassing at the same time, and you don't even want to know that you're a thief. But like,
at the same time, I would rather feel that it wasn't misplaced by a ghost or something. But without having to go, okay, they just felt like there was a presence. What's the earliest recollection of you feeling uneasy or there being something different about that house in 14 where you couldn't say it to me and Marv? Whether that's you being in the bedroom, was it a kitchen thing? Was it a living room? Like, where was it where you felt, okay, I'm being watched here? Even if it wasn't, it doesn't have to be a negative thing, just being watched.
Yeah. I think it was mainly through, I would say, the hallway going to my bedroom and the bathroom. It was more not being watched, it was more like being protected. How can I,
was it Marsha's bathroom? Marsha's bathroom, the one upstairs you're talking about?
No, 14. I'm talking about 14.
Oh, 14. Oh, 14.
So that hallway.
The hallway was kind of, when the doors were all closed, I used to have to open the doors because I felt like, how can I put it? I was locking something in.
Oh.
So,
but nothing sinister, Marv.
Yeah, but
I know, but just
something. Yeah. So when me and Marvin are telling the stories in hallways and UFOs about me seeing you come down the hallway out of the bedroom, so I would have seen you from our door, and you go in the bathroom, but then I saw you again. I know I told you this story again and again over years. Like, Mom, I know what I saw, and this is why I feel kind of uneasy around you sometimes, because I've had no true explanation of what that was.
A spooky thing happened in 14 and two-way, whereby a presence came to the bedroom, brought me out down the hallway, and outside, and got the key out the front door and brought me back.
Because you left the keys in the door. So Marv, the other day, I can't remember what episode we were on, and I said I knew when you were coming home because of the sound of the keys. I knew the
rattle, melody of the keys.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So if I heard you, it would be, Marv, did you do the dishes? Or quick, is there milk left for the tea? Marvin would eat so much cornflakes, there'd be no milk left for tea. So I'd have to figure out if I've got 50p left to go and get some milk from the corner shop so you can have tea when you came home from work. So we were familiar with all of those sounds. And I think now that you're saying it, I remember you saying about being protected and someone either taking the keys or always making sure the house keys were where you needed to find them.
Yeah.
So you're saying someone, did you ever know who that was or feel you knew who that was?
No.
That is insane and creeping me out.
It was someone who had me. I always said it was someone who had me back.
And I guess that's the positive reinforcement of it. It's like, and that's what we talk about the 14 Orchard House is the presence of, I don't like saying evil, but versus good, where I had both.
Yeah.
I had both of them. But what I didn't like, the fact that I felt like sometimes this is the best way to describe it. I actually felt like we were in the middle of someone else's war.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with us, right? It was
I
weird.
felt like we're in the middle of something going on, but we were living where something else was happening, but we were just basically
In the way.
get caught in between the vibes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
We were in the
Yeah.
way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. The more we talk about it, the more it kind of like starts to make sense in terms of what emotions I was feeling or how I was feeling emotionally, and sometimes how my mood would go from extremely hyperactive to I'm gonna just watch TV.
I know the more we're talking about it, the more I wish I would have pen to paper and wrote it down personally.
Oh yeah.
You know, I would have been like, you know, wow, because we're talking, it's 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and it's like, woo, trying to, reflect, regroup, 30 years ago, it's a lot of years past.
It's a lifetime.
You know, it's a lifetime. Because I spoke to one of our neighbours today, one of our old neighbours, and I said to her, do you remember, did we ever have a conversation about what was happening in Orchard House and what have you? She did say, I remember you talking about a Cherokee Native American Indian. And what else did she say? Oh, she said James Brown and bacon sandwiches. That's what you remember is about Orchard
James
House.
Brown and bacon sandwiches. That's a name of a restaurant.
It is.
James Brown. Oh, have you ever been to James Brown and bacon sandwiches? That's amazing. Patton, that's ours.
She says she can picture, so now we're talking, I can picture the Native American Indian in your flat. I mean, oh, that's, wow.
Didn't we have that thing on the wall? It was like a mural thing and it had a Native American Indian on there. Didn't we have that? Remember it went...
No, we had, it was a tree. It was like a wood.
It was a tree.
Yeah, it was
wood.
It was
like a slab.
Yeah.
Who's got that?
I have. It's with me in Liverpool.
Really?
Yeah,
where?
With the butterfly on it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
A little blue butterfly.
I've just seen it in my head. And honestly, you've just brought up something that completely left my complete
because
mind.
it was like Salvador Dali. I can see the two pictures kind of side by side. Why am I relating them together? Am I tripping, Marv? Are you seeing the Salvador Dali?
No. This is when you're getting confused now, because you know what's happening. You're mixing Dad's Salvador Dali picture
with the eggs,
with the eggplant. That was Dad's house, and then Mum had it. Then Dad took it. Then Mum had it. Dad took it, and then it came back, and then we had the Native Indian Cherokee plaque with the butterfly on it. But I've never thought of that until you just said it. I haven't thought of it in my mind, and I've just seen it.
It was like, I think, from a tree. I think it was made from a tree.
So do you know where we got that art from? Do you know where we got it from?
Well, the tree is Mike Wildman's. It's still Mike's. Hi, Mike, if you're watching this.
Oh, God.
He left it in my house.
Mike Wildman left that in the house.
Mike Wildman. I'm positive it was Mike Wildman's. Because he used to stay by us.
Wow.
Yeah,
this is just. So I'm friends with Mike Wildman on Facebook, so I can get him on the line to verify.
Yeah.
I think I've got a picture of me holding ET
with Mike Wildman.
Okay.
Mike Wildman, maybe his wife, and I'm really young. Yeah, I still have that. That Marv, that's kind of wow.
Yeah, that's different. But Mum, what was the other thing you said that Sue said as well about the area?
Oh wow! God, years ago, obviously years and years ago, it was a cemetery. So our flat was built on a cemetery.
Marsh.
Both were present.
They only moved the headstones.
They only moved the headstones.
Lies.
So you are literally Stephen and Stephen, don't let go. Oh my God.
We're living somewhere. This is just madness.
So on our flats.
Yes, they didn't move the bodies, Marsh. That's what happened. That's why we had.
Well, we didn't know this. You reckon?
They never them years ago. They would never have thought. Oh, the bodies
Never.
will just decompose. They would never have thought to have moved
Move
them. They would
Oh,
never
okay.
have moved them.
Well, it was a cemetery.
And that's not in. So I've tried to look for so much records of that place, and they're missing. You either have to pay for, you know how you can go to a real estate
Public record, you're supposed
website,
to have
public records.
Yeah.
They've got nothing below 2009 for those flats. Because I was looking, because I was curious to see how much they're worth now. I was like, wow, what if we bought nothing? There's no record of anyone living there. You can't even find that we lived there years ago.
Wow.
Nothing before 2009. I don't even know if the rent is close to like 1,400 now. And in 2009, it was bought by, doesn't say who, but something for like 200 grand. But no record predating that.
Okay.
Nothing. Couldn't
But
even
she
find
clearly said it was a cemetery. Clearly, beforehand.
It's just like.
So the
do you know
Monet
what?
brothers who built it in, what was it, 1897?
1897, yeah.
And we've got the cat emblem on the side. When they purchased, because they purchased land in Lambeth.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
are we Southwark or Lambeth?
He was Southwark.
Southwark. Yeah, so Southwark, they had everything from Mitesville Park. There's another flats that is almost the twin of our flats right next to Charles River Brook. It's called Dover House, I think. And that's the same builders. So they owned all that land. But we're talking about going from what would have been World War I, 1914 to what, 1918, if I'm getting my history correct.
Yeah.
Well,
And then, you know, we're talking about London. We're under siege. It's a war. It's an actual war. People were dying. South London became a safe haven for not only the people of the church integrating Great Britain at that time. So that's black, white, that's everybody. We're all trying to survive together at that point. It wasn't, I'm not saying it wasn't racist, but it was everybody.
That's when St. John's Church came into.
Yeah, so St. John's was very much integrated. It was about saving people through Christianity, which was their Church of England, which is how on earth did we get from Liverpool to there? Like, how did we get to Orchard House? Because Dad said it was something about a housing association associated with the job that you got.
Yeah, I got a job with the Community Relations Council.
Yeah.
And they did a relocation, and we were offered Orchard House and this other apartment which we never ever got to see because they kept on saying it's not ready yet, it's not ready yet.
Where was
so we
that?
took that one.
Oh,
that was off Lordship Lane.
But you know what's
So
crazy?
our lives may have been different.
No, Mum. Honestly, this sounds nuts, right? But if we were, this is when you know the paths of life are so crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Lane, even though it's the same area, it's completely different in terms of who was living there.
Yeah.
And who would have been our neighbours, things like that. It would have been completely different.
Well, when we first moved to Orchard House, I'll never forget it because you know what I'm like. I introduced myself and they actually thought I was crazy from day one because the woman upstairs, you know, Michael and Michelle's mum, Janet.
They were so
Janet.
Who we became friends with in the end. But she never spoke to me for about a year because she said no one has ever done that. Introduced, you know, I said, I'm your neighbour, I've just moved in, I've got 2 kids. And she kind of like was like, oh, you know, and I got a bit like thinking, oh, what have I done? You know, people are a bit crazy.
But that's like a London Liverpool thing, though.
Yeah, it is a London Liverpool thing.
Yeah,
that's Liverpool's.
Yeah, Liverpool, we're happy
everyone.
and friendly to everybody. Londoners, it was just a bit standoffish. Yeah.
Very, very
that's
weird.
strange.
But it was so funny.
My mind
guys.
is now.
Yeah, well, we digress, but I want to get back to now. All right, so out of 14, let's get into 2A. So, and one thing that's hilarious as well, by the way, Mum, whenever we moved house, this is the funniest thing. I never ever saw the move when we were kids. I just have to say that it was always we moved. I slept one night in one bed and I was in another. That happened 4 times in my life, which I just find hilarious.
Okay, that is your mum. Your mother.
You're really good.
Organized.
You are
really
really amazing.
My whole room was done.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, the fact that I've moved several times and I hate it, I'm like, how did you keep this undercover? It's the most stressful shit.
Exactly.
Sorry, but it is awful. Who wants to move?
But I just literally moved into a ready room every time. So it's cool. Thank you. I want to say thank you.
You're welcome, son.
So in 2A, the bath and music were always prominent. Like that's my happiest memories is you coming back from work, the heat and the steam coming from the bathroom, you running the bath, and then you just blast tunes for 2 hours straight. Like 2 hours straight. Like that's one of my
loudest.
on the loudest, but it was my best. It was one of my best. It's one of my best memories as a child. I love it now. But with the vibe of that, how did that cross to where you had your experiences in that house of feeling not 100%?
That was mainly in the bedroom, my bedroom.
Would you say it was your closet?
It was the whole bedroom. It was.
Did you ever get worse vibes from the closet? I just need to know, because your closet, mum, honestly got me into some problems.
Well, I used to close the closet. I didn't like that room at all. I never told you that, but I didn't feel comfortable in that room. Well, I suppose it was the closet. I'm trying to think. The closet was in that little corner over there.
Yeah.
I made sure I didn't go in the closet at night time. I used to, for some unknown reason, I'd go in during the day. Yeah. But I don't know why. In my head, I can't say, oh, I didn't do it because I was scared of anything. I just automatically never went in there in the night time. Yeah.
I never went in your room if you wasn't home.
Wow.
Oh yeah, no, I was for nothing.
Honestly, I really reflected on this and went, and I think it was because I did go in there once in the daytime, and the door, everything. I don't even know if I was just manifesting stuff, but it got really weird. And I remember sprinting downstairs,
So what happened?
Going in the living room. Marsh, this is the thing. Nothing happened. It was just a feeling. I just had to run. I ran past your room. And you know when we used to run down the stairs and we'd hold the banister and do that swing around thing? And mum was like, stop doing that. I was doing that because I was trying to run away from something, but I didn't know what I was running away from. And then I go in the living room because the living room to me felt quite safe. It felt quite safe, except for the plant, which we'll come back to in a minute.
Okay.
I'm not talking about that.
It was not nice. I didn't like the vibes in that house or that room. I mean, mainly more of that room than anything. I think I've told you in the past, I used to astrofly, which I didn't like.
Wait. You have to back up on that one. So let's just explain to people that are listening what astroflying is. So please just give us an explanation of what astroflying is, so people.
It's having an out of body experience. So you can actually, you're lying flat, but your body goes somewhere else.
And how do you control where your body goes?
You can't. Well, I can't say you can't. Apparently there is ways of you doing that, but I didn't want to go into all the heaviness of it, if you know what I mean. I used to just go.
But where did you go?
Well, one time I met Desmond Tutu in one of my flies somewhere.
And what's my husband's name? What's my husband's name?
Desmond Tutu. And I had a whole conversation with him. I don't actually know where he was, but I had a whole conversation with him and came back. It was really, really strange.
But was it trank? Was it nice feeling? Was it strange? Like, what was the feeling?
It was nice, but I got scared that I wasn't going to come back. Because if you're watching yourself somewhere and your body, your body's there, but you're somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's like, am I ever going to get back to where I was?
So you could turn around and you would see yourself.
Yeah.
And then when you go, is it the world you see, or like, is it the same room?
I'd say it's like lights. It's more bright. It's bright.
Do you think that people represented the lights or the earth represented the lights? Like, I'm just trying to get a picture of it.
I know. If I think about it, I think it was more the Earth represented the lights, not people.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you learn, like, bring us to how you learned the skill to know you could astrofly?
It just happened when we moved to 2A.
So 14, it never happened.
Never happened in 14. It was in 2A. And it first started with this heaviness, like you'd feel someone sitting on the bed. And you'd see, you know, and then you'd think, oh shit. And then I wouldn't want to look. And I'd pretend not to look, or I'd look and then I'd think, well, there's no one there, but there is someone there. It was weird. I personally didn't enjoy my experiences there, and I find it really hard to talk about.
So, Mum, do you know, honestly, if you ever need to stop, honestly, I understand it. Because we've been speaking for a while and it gets heavy. We don't mind having to come back to certain things in convo when you're ready. It's taken me a while to get to our stage now, because the other day, I'm sure you're gonna watch tomorrow. Soon you're gonna see another episode where I talk about something that happened to me there, but it took a lot out of me to get that out. So with you, you were an adult, so you are really cognitively available in that sense of knowing exactly what happened.
I can laugh about it, but it was not, I mean, I used to drink coffee not to sleep, because I felt I was drowning in my own bed. It was just a horrible feeling. I'll never forget, I was seeing someone and they took me to see Freddy Krueger, the first Nightmare on Elm Street.
That must have just...
That's horrible.
And it freaked me out because...
threw you over the edge.
The girl was doing, you know, the coffee and the chanting and what have you. I have never seen any other of those movies besides that one.
Number 3 is really good. Dream Warrior.
Now for Mum, it's not great.
No, I'm sorry, Mum. Oh yeah, no, you don't. It's a classic. Kind of,
for me, brought things to the head, and I was thinking, I'm not enjoying this at all. So I actually sought out through one of through Marvin's childminder, psychic. Yeah, around the corner, and I used to attend a psychic circle. Again, that was another freaked me out because of we go through so many how could you put it, different like challenges. Like one time I was given a piece of jewelry in this circle, and I just come out with this. So this was given to someone it's not their engagement ring, but at a party, and there was fight and this happened. And then there was arguments with this guy and this girl. And I come out with this whole big story. And this girl had her mouth open. And I was like, what? And she said, that's the whole thing that happened. And that was my ring. It freaked me out.
Jeez.
I was like, that was from a ring. I don't even know this woman. But, you know, she said, you said exactly what happened when I had that ring on. Wow. And I was like, I don't want to embrace this. I'm not feeling comfortable with it.
So essentially you have a gift, and with that gift the problem is, I guess, a part of the house, and now finding out it was on land that was a cemetery. But then you had the ability to obviously not invite but feel spirits on a higher plane. And I guess maybe with that and the tug of war, you were crossing like Ghostbusters, crossing streams.
You crossed the streams.
Yeah.
Gozer the Gozerian. You crossed
maybe
the stream.
and maybe that was the ripple in the house. Maybe you were not meaning to invite people, but the problem was people knew you were there.
They were. Yeah.
And that's why they were waiting. And I guess when you started astroflying, maybe that was kind of like that's why you started to feel people more, because there was a point where there was nothing and then it got strong. There was a point where there was nothing and it did get stronger and stronger. Sorry, I'd say this though, but when we did leave, I remember going, thank God we're leaving. I felt like it was time to go.
Okay. No, I didn't feel, how can I put it? I wasn't that anxious to escape it. And I think it's after when the psychic guy came around and he said that you are being protected. You are. he described the person who was protecting me, and it was a Native American Indian. And I then, at that point, wrote to my father, who hadn't written to for years, because we were brought up to believe that we were part Cherokee Indian. So I was thinking, this is part of the family. Someone's, protecting me, which made me feel obviously safe. But then it made me touch bases back with my dad, and it was lovely because I don't think I would have wrote to him.
Wow.
Because of that.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother
We have a whole other life outside of our own immediate family. We got extended family because of that.
I might not have met my grandfather based on that experience.
Wouldn't have known Auntie Kelly, wouldn't have known Uncle Joe, wouldn't have known Camille, like all of that family
would have just been there. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. As we're speaking, things are starting to not only come back, but
yeah, I'm getting flooded with a lot of stuff right now. That's why I did say to you this episode, I said we have to actually do different days, because already that heavy feeling we got before Marsh.
Yeah.
I've got that weight. I've got that weight.
It's a lot. It's on the back of my neck now.
I'm sorry if I'm going off the flow, but sometimes I have to get something out. Then, if you
Mum, but we're encouraging you 100%. That's how we've been doing this. Marvin will say something, and I'll go back 2 houses ago, 2 years prior, and it will just all start to make sense as we're speaking. So I want you to just say it as it comes, as you remember it. It doesn't have to be what we're talking about. Marv might say something that sparks something else. Yeah. So just
see you in a minute.
Just say, okay, get your tea. I'll see you in a minute. All right.
Bye.